Hey you guys, welcome to my channel. It's Sarah here, and in this video I'm going to show you how I make this jigsaw puzzle dinosaur activity page. It comes with 5 pieces and it's really cute. I really love it. I will share the bulk template that I use in SVG and JPEG format. I share that on my Patreon, DIY Busybooks. That is where I share my bulk templates for making multiple copies of a page all at once. So you do multiple cuts at once. I'll show you what that looks like as well in this video. And then I'll have a free printable version as well on my website. So if you just want to cut out the pieces by hand, head on over to my website, print off that PDF file, and you can make a single page for your little one's busy book. And just a little side note, these are a really good seller at craft shows just because dinosaur themes, like you can't go wrong with a dinosaur themed activity page. Okay, thanks so much you guys for watching. Thanks so much for subscribing and liking the video and for all your sweet comments. I'll see you guys in the next video. Very quickly, I'll just show you the template, the bulk template that I provide on my Patreon in both JPEG and SVG format. This is exactly what it looks like here. I have all the pieces open up on my Cricut. As always, all of them, the entire size of each of them are meant to fit on a 12-inch by 12-inch cutting mat or a 12-inch by 12-inch piece of felt. That's pretty standard for most cutting machines. So this is what it looks like. And I always make 6 sets of this dinosaur activity page at a time. So I'll start with the white eyes and the black eyes. You'll see those in a minute. Those just cut out a ton. I think I have 16 by 16 white eyes, which is 256 eyes right there, and I use those across a ton of different pages. I use it on my dinosaur page, a pony page, I use it on Big Bird, I use it on my finger puppets. This size of circles for eyes is pretty standard and very common for a lot of different activities that I do. So those just cut out a ton all at once. Cutting it out the first time is annoying because it's just cutting out so many little circles of the black and white. But once you get them cut the first time, it's going to be a while before you actually have to cut them again. These are the ones that you will be cutting out regularly. So let me just zoom in a little bit. There are only 3 different colors that I use. So I use a dark green one, and in this one cut alone, that will cut out enough copies for a dark green tail and a dark green leg, and it will cut out enough for 6 copies of each. So you'll see 12 in there, but that's because I hot glued 2 copies together to make a full piece, just to add a lot of stiffness and structure. This light green arm, this actually cuts enough for 12 sets. So you'll see a total of 24 pieces in there. So I just use the first 6 when I'm making my first 6 pages, and then I save the next 6 for the next time I make that page, and then I don't have to cut out the that light green one on the second time around. And then you can see this medium green, I have to cut out 2 copies of this to get enough for 6 sets. So in this one cut, you'll see enough for 3 heads and 3 medium green legs. And so I always do 2 cuts to make a total of 6 sets. So basically, if you're making these in bulk and you're doing your first 6 sets, go ahead and cut out the eyes and then just save them for a bunch of other pages that you might make, or for just this page when you make it in the future. And then you're really, when you make these normally, you really just need to cut out these 3 templates. So you'll need 1 green, you'll need 1 light green, and you'll need 2 of the medium green. So really, to make a set of 6, really, for the most part, you only need to do those 4 cuts. So that's pretty good. That works out really well, and that's not a lot of cuts, so it makes the cost of making this page really low. So I include those details all on my Patreon if you're interested in looking at the cost of this page, how much I personally sell it for, how many I can make over the course of an hour, blah, 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 all that good stuff. Now let's put this page together. So here's what all the pieces look like after I've cut them out on my Cricut. I'm just going to grab one set of each one so that I can show you how to put this together. And then I have my white and black eyes mixed in with another bag. I accidentally got them mixed up with another bag. My Oscar the Grouch page, they don't actually use those white eyes for Oscar, but that's okay. They're in there as well, so I'm going to bring those out. These are the only pieces of felt I need. I'm just going to hot glue 2 copies of each of those pieces together, except for the eyes that will stay to the side. Okay, now that those are all hot glued together, and I really like hot gluing them, you can sew them together, but I like the hot glue because it's quicker and it makes the pieces nice and stiff and structured, which is nice because they are going to be puzzle pieces. So I have an 8-inch by 8-inch sheet of felt. I'm going to go with a nice light blue, let me just adjust my camera here, a nice light blue 1.2 millimeter stiff Korean felt. It's a really nice structured thick felt, and let me just lay out how it will look here on the page, because I'm going to put the eye, hot glue the eye on the dinosaur. So you just want to make sure you're hot gluing the eye on the right side, like on the correct side of the face of the dinosaur. So if you're going to lay out your dinosaur like this, you want to glue your eye on this side. You don't want to accidentally glue your eye on this side because that won't fit with the way that I've laid it out. So I'm just going to hot glue the eye on. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to go ahead and just use a paint marker, a fabric paint marker. You could use any type of marker really, but I'm just going to draw on kind of a jagged, sharp smile and some little nostrils. And then I'm going to put that to the side for just a moment. I'm going to just grab a regular pen. I have a black pen here. You can use any color. And I'm going to bring out my computer. This part's kind of funny, but this is literally the best way that I can think of to do this. I'm going to bring out the outline of the dinosaur itself, which I have included a picture of it so that you at home can also do this. And I'm just going to make it big enough to fit onto, like to make sure that the pieces in real life align with that size. Okay, so that's a little bit too big. So I'm going to shrink it down a little bit. Okay, I think that should be good. Yes, the pieces are pretty much lining up exactly that size. So what I will do is I will just take a pen and lightly trace over the screen and draw the outlines of the pieces on my felt. And then I'm going to go over it with a darker paint marker so that it shows up really crisp and clear. I can't really see this very clearly right now because of all the lighting that I have on my screen. So I'm going to turn that down and you can probably see that better too. So I'm just going to trace out the outline of the pieces onto the felt. And next I've just gone ahead and laid out my pieces on that outline just to make sure they fit approximately. They're not perfect, but they're pretty close. So I'm going to go ahead and trace out that outline with a darker, more pronounced marker or paint marker or whatever you've got on hand. That's what it looks like with the fabric paint. Mine was kind of dying, so it's not very crisp, but that's okay. And try to avoid what I do, which is getting it on your hands. And then the final thing, the last final thing, is I'm going to use some self-adhesive Velcro dots. But if you guys watch my channel, you know I always use hot glue as well because the self-adhesion itself is not enough to stick and stay stuck. But when you apply hot glue to them, I find it works really well. And these ones I have are totally transparent, which I love. So you can put them on and they're kind of invisible. Not totally, like you can still see them there, but they kind of just blend in with the page. So I'm going to put those onto each of the pieces and then I will put another one on the backs of each of the puzzle pieces. Alrighty, now that I've got all those pieces hot glued on, I can go ahead and put them in place on the page. And that is what the dinosaur page looks like. I'm all out of the fabric that I showed you at the beginning of this video, but I have some other dinosaur themed fabric that I can choose from. Here is one of them, which is very cute and very cool. And then I have this one as well. So I'm going to use up those. Maybe I'll just go with this one for now. And I'm going to take another sheet of 8" by 8" felt. I'm going to cut out a sheet of this, wrap that around this page, and then I will attach it to the other side of this sheet with my binding piece in the middle. So I've got that clipped around and that's what it looks like. Oh, actually I might adjust that a little bit and see if I can bring it down to show this dinosaur's head on the back. Hold on. Okay, I don't think I'm going to be able to bring it down, so instead I'm going to raise the sheet up a little bit to show the dinosaur, the Triceratops on the bottom. So I'll show you what it looks like. Unfortunately, I love this fabric so much. I think it's so cute and so cool, but unfortunately, when you're using it on these pages, you can only really catch 1 or 2 dinosaurs on the page. Let's see. There we go. So at least we got kind of 2 dinosaurs shown on the page. So I'm going to go ahead, attach that on the back, and then I'm going to use, I have a dark green sheet of felt that I just cut out by hand with my scallop edge fabric scissors. I'll put the link for them below, what I use. And I just cut it about 6 inches by 2 inches, just big enough to fit in between the front and the back side of the page. And I'm going to clip those corners and I will sew around the border. Okay, that's what it looks like all sewn around the border. And then last but certainly not least, I'm going to get my heavy duty hole punch and we'll put in 2 holes into the binding piece, which by the way, this binding pieces that I always use are always 2 or 3 millimeters thick. I can't remember if I mentioned that yet. Okay, and that is what the finished page looks like. So it's really cute and I really like this one. Thanks so much, you guys. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know how it goes and I will see you in the next video.